Edit flat slab item property, shift the following property to display with select one more existing flat slab with an individual slab. The property display with the dialog, right click and select the edit with the property description in general. Name automatically generated, name of the slab item, you can be over the right automatically generated, name required with the rotation spec for the value, orientation reinforcement, different angle with for the different panels with the slab. Include with the diaphragm option with clear for the slab item. It does not predict for the diaphragm item. All the link for the slab items will be able to display independently with the diaphragm over slab and the over depth. Default of the panel slab at the depth of the same with the depth for the option allow the selected panel to have a different length with the vertical overside, vertical offset with the overside, override slab the depth of the check with the positive offset with the brief slab panel and serve with the negative offset with the drop with the vertical offset with the non-structural significant design for design mode with the AS prove the increase the either pass or achieve the limiting reinforcement permanent or limited has achieved for panels design mode result with the pass or fail. Select bar starting point with the option control with the starting point with the auto design proceed with minimum with the default with remove the current arrangement again with the minimized allows bar size. Current auto design commence from the current bar arrangement plane with indicate the level of the slab item place slab general name of the parent's name the parent slab name of the slab type of the slab on the beams deck type of the reinforcement post tension design post tension slab D on the scope of the current release decomposition two-way slab parameter slab properties overall depth specified the slab length. Thickness, concrete type, normal, lightweight, concrete class, concrete grades, concrete aggregated type, specifically aggregated type, concrete density with the normal weight of the concrete, specified the density class, dry density, specified the dry concrete density, wet density, specified the wet concrete density, diaphragm option, for the default diaphragm action slab item, the parent slab, the non-semi-rigid, rigid design parameter load, ratio head code, euro code, required supply value with a permanent load ratio of the default 0.65 at the assumed with the euro the revised consider the appropriate and just necessary. Maximum craft width 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, live load, reduced live load, property applicable to design transfer load, math all load, percentage live load, projection not determine automatic property allowed to specify the percentage manually. It can be applied with an individual slab item. You don't have it apply with a single value with the off the slab with the map. This can be imported into 3 transfer panels larger for the slab area with the reduced load case, with the reduced combination, incorporated reduced load case, or reduced result with the slab design format, bearing pressure will reduce well. Reinforcement slab panels, potentially 4 layers. Background reinforcement, however, the layers direction can be set with if required, top slab, top X, top Y, bottom X. Select clear outside layer to X direction, purposely for the outside layer of the X or Y direction of the outside layer, different top of the bottom bars required. All edges linear, unchecked in order to specify all edge of the curvature, define the amount of curvature. All edge of the only displayed linear is created. Edge 1, edge 2, etc. Linear, unchecked in order to specify curvature. The amount of the curve only displayed linear is created. You define attribute to customize the list of the attributes that comes off with the individual members and hand with you that define attribute to edit precast item one probably preset of the following property to display with select one or more existing precast slab with an individual slab property to display with the dialog right click on the edit with the property description the name of the automatic generated slab item. You can override the automatic generated name, rotation angle specify the orientation of the name of the different angles specify the different panels of the slab, include with the diaphragm option clear for the slab item do not participate within diaphragm action. All nodes linked to the slab item will be able to display independently diaphragm override slab depth of the default panel slab at the depth same depth of the check for the option allow the selected panel with the different depth of the vertical offset openly available to override slab the depth of the check with the positive offset with the rate of the slab panel surface the negative the offset drops vertical offset with the non-structurally insignificant auto design precast slab with the beyond scope of the current release plane indicate the level of the slab item place slab general slab type precast deck type precast concrete planks decomposition one way slab parameters depth specified slab thickness, concrete type, normal lightweight, concrete class, specified concrete grade, concrete aggregated type, specified aggregated type, concrete density class, the normal weight, concrete only, specified the density class, dry density, specified the dry concrete density, water density, specified the water concrete density, wet water, wet weight per area to define the overall slab, wet weight per unit, PC plank or topping, dry weight area to define the overall slab, dry weight per unit, PC plank or topping. Short-term elastic, specify the short-term elastic modes, long-term elastic modes, ECM divided by factor of the short-term elastic modulus is divided to obtain the long-term modulus. Diaphragm options number slab option only with the default diaphragm action for the slab items with the new slab non-semi-rigid deck properties. Country manufacturer reference gauge, define property of the precast slab, topping details, topping specify the type of topping, non-structural depth, specify the depth and top of the topping with the non-selected, all edge linear, linear, unchecked with the order to specify all edge of the curve. Curvature defines the amount of the curvature or all edge only displayed linear is cleared. Edge 1, edge 2, etc. Linear, unchecked in order to specify the curve edge. Defines the amount of curvature only displayed with the linear is create curved, create cleared. User defined attributed to customize the list of attributes applied with the individual members and panels. Edit steel deck item property with the following properties displayed with selecting one or more steel deck. The individual deck property displayed with the dialog. Right click with selecting edit. Property description general name. The automatically generated name slab item can be overridden to automatically generated required username rotation angles. Specify the orientation of the deck depth and angles. Specify the different panels for the slab. Included in the diaphragm option of the slab item that does not practice the diaphragm action. All the nodes unlinked to the slab item will be able to display independent with the diaphragm override slab depth. By default, all panels within the slab adopt the same depth of check. The option selected panel will have a different depth of vertical offset only available to override slab depth of check with the pot of the offset rate of the slab panel surface negative. The offset drops it. Vertical offset not structurally intact. Significant plane indicates the level of the slab item place. Slab general, slab type steel deck, deck type steel plate. Decomposition one way, two ways. The slab parameter depth specify the slab thickness. Diaphragm set the diaphragm action. Slab items within the new slab non-semi-rigid rigid decks properties. Home slab weight, define self-weight over the deck material properties, define steel properties, all edge linear, unchecked with the order of the specify the all edge of the curved curvature, define the amount of curvature at all edge, only displayed linear is cleared, edge 1, edge 2, etc. Linear, unchecked with the order specify curved edge curvature, define the amount of curve, only displayed linear is cleared, user define attributed to customize the attributed to the applied to the individual members and panels. Edit timber deck item property. Show the following property display with selecting one or more existing timber deck with an individual deck property display with the dialog. Right clicking edit. Property in the description general, then the automatic generally name of the slab item that can be override automatically generated. Required rotation specify the orientation of the deck, different angle with the specify the different panels of the slab. Include the diaphragm option clear for the slab item. It does not participate in the diaphragm action. All nodes linked to the slab item will be able to displace an independent diaphragm over the slab to depth with the depth of the panel of the slab to depth with the same depth. Option allow the selected panel to have a different depth of vertical offset only available to override slab to depth achieved. Check with the positive offset rate of the slab panel surface with a negative offset drop with vertical offset non-structural significant plane indicate the level with the slab item display. Slab general, slab type timber deck, deck type timber, decomposition one way, slab parameters, depth, specify slab thickness, diaphragm, set the diaphragm action, slab items from the new slab, non-semi-rigid, decking, property, self-weight density, define the self-weight of the deck, material property, define with the timber property, all edges linear, the uncheck the order of the specify all of the curve, define with the amount of curvature, all edge, only displayed linear is cleared, edge 1, edge 2, etc. Linear with the uncheck the order, specify with the curved edge, define the amount of curvature, only displayed linear is cleared, user attributed, customizable, attributed, apply with the individual members and panels. Edit composite slab item property, set with the following properties with the display with the selecting more existing composite slab, individual slab property with the display with the dialog, right clicking and selecting edit. Name of the automatically generated name for the slab item. The username can use the override automatic generated name if required. Rotation angle specify the orientation reinforcement of the different angle specify the different panels within the slab, include the diaphragm. If the option clear for the slab item does not participate in the diaphragm action, all nodes linked to the slab will be able to displace independently over the diaphragm, override slab to depth of the depth of the default over the panel slab to the depth of the same depth of the check of the option allow with the selected panel with a different depth of the vertical offset only available the override slab to depth of the check with the positive offset with the range of the slab panel surface the negative offset drop with the vertical offset with the non-structurally insignificant. Auto design composite slab is beyond scope of the current release. Plane indicates the level of the slab item display. Slab general, slab type, composite slab, deck type, profile, metal decking, decomposition one way, slab parameters, overall depth, specified slab thickness, concrete type, normal, lightweight, concrete class, specify the concrete grade, dry density, select the dry concrete density, wet density, specify the wet concrete density, short-term elastic modulus, head code AISC, EC, define short-term elastic mode, long-term elastic mode, ECM divided by the head code AISC. EC, factor which short-term elastic mode is divided into obtaining the long-term modulus, short-term ratio, head code BS, define short-term modular ratio, long-term ratio, head code BS, define long-term modular ratio to define diaphragm option, select the default action with a slab item within the new slab, no semi-rigid, pounding allowance option, if required, choose either value of the percent with the specified actual pounding allowance, accordingly applying pounding allowance construction stage, checking all pounding allowance construction stage, allowing pounding allowance composite stage, applying and pounding and allowance the commands the stage, decking property to define with the property profile of the metal deck, reinforcement slab with the crack control with the fire requirement to define reinforcement slab with the control of the fire requirements. Linear, uncheck the order to specify all of the edge of the curvature defined with the amount of curvature to all the edges only display with linear curves, edge 1, edge 2, etc. Linear, uncheck the order to specify the curve edge curvature of the defined with the amount of curvature only display with linear is clear. User define attributed customized list with attributed to apply with the individual members and painters. Map property foundation, map property foundation, map property set, the edit foundation, map property set of the foundation, map properties. Properties are displayed with selecting existing parent slab of the foundation, map branch for the structural T, property description, name of the automatically generated name of the T, the name can override with the automatically generated name of the required slab type of the foundation, mat, deck type reinforced concrete, pound post tension, design post tension, slab beyond scope of the current release, decomposition, two-way slab with the slab parameter depends, display with depending on the mat item referred to the individual mat item properties. Edit foundation map property set with the following properties display. You select more existing map of the individual map property display with right clicking, selecting edit. Property and description, general name of the automatically generated name of the mat. The use of the name, the override automatically generated name, and if required, rotation angle specify the orientation reinforcement, different angle specify the different panels with the mat. Include the diaphragm and if the option clear with the mat item does not present for the diaphragm action. All nodes linked to the mat item will be able to display independently with the diaphragm override slab depth. Default all the panel slabs are adopted for the same depth. Check with the option will allow selected panel with a different depth of the vertical offset but only available to over slab the depth. Check with the positive offset rate for the slab panels representing the offset with their opposite. Vertical offset is not structurally insignificant. Auto design for panels, auto design mode A as approved, increase to prove the passer, achieve the limiting reinforcement parameter limits have been exceeded. For panels auto design mode, the result will be pass or fail. Plane indicates the level of which the mat is placed. Slab general name of the parent foundation mat name, the slab type of the foundation mat, the deck type of the reinforced post tension, the design post tension slab beyond scope of the current release. Decomposition, two-way slab parameter, slab property depth, specify the slab thickness, concrete type normal, lightweight, concrete class, specify the concrete grade, concrete aggregated type, specify the aggregate type, concrete density of the normal weight with the concrete, specify the density class, dry density with dry concrete density, wet density, specify the wet concrete density. Diaphragm option, see the default diaphragm action slab items within the parent slab and on a rigid design parameter load ratio, head code, Eurocode. You require to supply value with a permanent load ratio or default 0.65 assumed Euro advisor. Consider the appropriate adjust the necessary maximum crack width 0.2, 0.3, 0.4. Soil parameters, use ground bearing soil. Ground bearing spring, specify the mat with the ground bearing, allow bearing pressure. Allowable bearing pressure is only required with the use of ground bearing springs option selected. Ground stiffness, following property of the only display with the use of the ground bearing springs opposite selected. Type spring linear, spring non-linear, stiffness only display with the type of the spring linear, stiffness vertex only display with the type of the spring non-linear, tension limited vector only display with the type of the spring non-linear, stiffness vector only display with the spring non-linear, compression limited vector only display with the type of the spring non-linear, horizontal support fixed free in spring. Percentage vertical spring stiffness field display with the horizontal support set with the spring live load reduction. Reduce live loads by the property applicable to the design transfer slab of the mats. Although the percentage live load reduction is not determined automatically, the property level to specify the percentage manually. It can be applied with the individual slab item. You don't have to apply with a single value with your other slab mat. But this can be employment with the discrete with the transfer panel with a large slab area with the reducible load case of reduced combination incorporate the reducible load case or reduced result of the use of the slab design for the mats bearing pressure for the edge well. Reinforcement slab panels can potentially have 4 layers background reinforcement. However, the layer directions can be set with none. If required, top slab, top X, top Y, bottom Y, bottom X, bottom slab. Select clear outside layer of the X direction and perpendicular indicate the outside layer X and Y direction. Outside layer can set with the different top and bottom bars as required. All edges linear. Uncheck in order specify all edge curve. The curvature of the defined amount of curvatures of the edge only display the linear is cleared. Edge 1, edge 2, etc. Linear. Uncheck the order specify curve edge, curvature of the defined amount of curvature only display the linear is cleared. User define distributor User define attributed, customized attributed to apply with the individual member and panels. Opening, overhang, column drop, slab, opening of the mat, opening property, slab, overhang, mat, overhang, property, column drop properties, slab, opening, mat, opening property, use the create with the opening existing slab with the deck panel with the property, strap with the property, windows, general, with the description, opening type with the property, drop list, rectangle, circle, the rotation angle with the rectangle, openings, the U with the specify the rotational opening on the plan, center of the X and Y coordinate, center of the opening, width and height of the rectangle, opening side with the opening radius, the circle, opening side with the opening, related tops of modeling slab, mat opening, slab overhang, mat overhang, property the copy view of the create overhang slab, deck panel with the overhang will adopt for the property spec for the property windows, property description, general edge pair wall, check for the box for the spec for the overhang with the curve edge, curve of the property only exists if the overhang is not set for the pair with the use of specify with the maximum extent of the circle or curve, taper select for the check box for the width of overhang varies the length of the supported edge width, the width of the overhang, width of the tapered overhang, width of overhang end 2, column drop property to the command view of the create with the column drop to concrete slab panel with the dimensions specified on the property windows, property depth, script and depth of the overall depth of the drop measure for the top of the slab, plane breadth, the breadth of the drop, the width of the drop, the plane width, the drop panel with the be inserted correctly important with the construction level of the log setting out with the type of the slab level, the question of SSL or not TOS, related top to the modeling column drops, user guide rotation angle for the panel, rotation angle with the control, warranty for the panel, span panels defined by a level of rotation 0, span directional line global X is 0, span rotation 90, span directional line global Y, planes defined with the frame, rotation angle 0, span direction horizontal, span rotation 90, span direction vertical, panels defined by slope plane, slope pane, positive Y, aligned with the upslope direction, so the positive X will be also perpendicular on the slope, when rotation angle 0, the span directional lines with X direction, so the perpendicular slope of this is shown below, so the slope Y and slope X in span direction, with rotation 90 degrees, span direction, Y direction with the parallel slope of the is shown below. So the slope and the span direction, X, slope Y and X, roof panel, wall panel properties, top of the section with the roof panel property, wall panel property, roof panel property to create roof, the command with the create with the roof panel, create with the panel property to get it with the property windows. Property and description, general, describe the level of the panel was placed, playing with the rotation angle to determine the value of the appropriate span, the direction, when weight, load, decomposition, orientation, semi-rage, 2D elements, solve the model, include a diaphragm with the check box, select the roof panel, mesh for the diaphragm, and semi-rage with the 2D elements, for the thickness of the roof panel, thickness on, you display the apple, include the diaphragm check with the youngest model, only display the apple, will include the diaphragm check with the sphere module will only display the apple, will include the diaphragm check, temperature coefficient, only display the apple, will include the diaphragm check, the divided stiffness of the roof panel, only display the apple, will include the diaphragm is check, decompose only wind and snow, unless the block is checked with the slab of the roof, will overlap with the validation area with the roof panel, will overlap the slab for the example of the flat roof building will be covered with gravity load, but cannot be decomposed with the both panel types of the simultaneous check with the both box resolve of the validation issue for the inch of the roof panel, with only the decomposed winds of the winds and snow loads applied with the roof panels, the snow width of the roof type, the default option tree for the pictured roof, the mono pitch for the drop list allow the more accurately specify the roof type, the depot pitch, mansard, hip, and etc. With the type charge with the wind type, wind model with already established, we always have the update zone with the reinstating the zone. User distributor define attributed custom list or attributed apply with the individual members and panels. Model roof panels, wall panel property with creating a wind wall command is you with create the wall panel with once created the panel properties connected with the property windows. General property and description, general plane, describe the plane where the panel was placed. Rotation angle, describe the plant panel span direction, angle 0 with the horizontal, 90 vertical, ice parrot with check for the indicated panel with the tree with the parrot wind analysis. After the wind wizard has been run, extra panel properties are appended as follows. The general property and description, general gap, where the funneling of the gap of the adjacent of the building is not consistent due to the shape of the buildings up through with the side of the special for the average worst case gap. The default gap is 1,000 meters, which effectively give the no funneling 0 gap, especially means they ignore the funneling. For example, where the building adjacent only sheltered by upwind building solidity indicate with the wall panel with the parrot, also with the need to indicate solidity with the parrot with the walls that are non-parrot automatically adopted solidity area 1. Status indicates whether the panel is valid or not. Decomposed loads can be set with the decomposed members and nodes. The default with the rigid diaphragm, say the wind wall with the panel load decomposition. User define attributed customized list with attributed applied with the individual members and panels, supporting element bearing wall properties. Topic in the section, support properties, element properties bearing wall properties, defining rotation angle with the gamma angle, support property create support command, apply with additional support with the model support with the first grade of the property, take one of the distal plate and the property one of the particular time, you edit with the property support, suit with the port being created, general with the name of the property, it's only display with the editing existing support with the name of the display with the automatically created base for the grid point, location, username of the property, only display with the editing existing support until the username replace the automatic created name, playing the property with the display with the editing existing support, describe the level of the support displayed with 3 grid points. The property is only displayed with creating a new support with a cleared support property defined in accordance with the global coordinate system. Check with the undefined coordinate system apply with the support. After clicking where you want to create the support, second click that defines the X direction, third click that defines the Y direction, FX, FY, FZ with the translated degree of the freedom that can either be free or fixed in either direction, MX, MY, MZ, the rotational degrees of freedom for the either free or fixed in either direction. Inclination, azimuth, and rotation when creating new support with the angles calculated automatically depending on the placement grid. 3 points for the on-off, the editing existing support with the angle that can be edited with the order redefined with the direction support X. Translation stiffness X, Y, and Z type the in order defined by the transition spring with a particular direction. Translation degree of the freedom of direction must be free of the sphere. Set free with the available types other than release 0. Translation stiffness spring linear, spring non-linear stiffness, spring linear single stiffness value. Enter the X of the both positive and negative direction. Spring non-linear 2 stiffness value for the enter the one of the X for the positive direction, second X for the negative direction. F max vertex, negative vertex, F max positive vertex, non-linear spring. It was also the value of the variable capacity each for the direction. Note with the most alpha to be enter for the positive value of both and positive for the vertex and negative vertex directions. Alright, rotations, stiffness X and Y, stiffness type, in order to define rotational spring of the particular direction, rotational degree of freedom in the same direction must be free with the variable option with relief, the rotational stiffness, spring linear, spring non-linear, nominal fixed, stiffness, spring linear, single stiffness value, and enter the X for the positive and the negative directions, spring non-linear, 2 stiffness values, enter the one of the X for the positive direction, second and the X for the negative direction, stiffness percentage, normally pinned 10%, normally fixed 100%, and above the equations L is the length of the base for the column and the level of the next column stack with the different with the floor of the distance for the top of the column is if this is shorter. The free max value vector and free max value vector, positive vector, nonlinear spring are able to define the spring capacity in each direction. Note this must also be enter the positive value of the both positive and negative vector directions. Element property, the following property display with the ability to create with the new analysis element that are not designed. Property description element, the parameters and characteristic analysis element, the material, steel, concrete, timber generated material, cold form, cold real. Rolled material that only display with the element, the type of the beam, trough of the tension, only with compression only. Element type beam trough, the use of the brace of the truss, internal tension, only tension, only brace with compression, only brace, linear XO, spring linear torsional, spring non-linear torsional, spring automatic, use automatic grouping, cleared group names that enter manually, check with the group names created automatically, rotation, element around local X of the default degree of the element properties within the global Z, and provided the element has not been specified to define inclined plane degree 0, 90, 180, 270 in angle, rotation angle to enter the angle to directly see with the rotation angle to grade with the grades available to do here, the set of the materials between the home ribbon, AX specify the area of the section, A parallel to the minor shear of the area of the parallel to the minor axis, parallel major shear area parallel to the major axis, IX specify the torsional and I major axis and aerial, release defined the end release, instability factor defined with the out-of-plane stability preventing the property not displayed with the material set with the concrete, user distributed to attributes. Customizable list of attributes can apply with the individual members and panels. Bearing wall property, the following property is displayed with the creative of the bearing walls. General top level specify the top level of the wall when creating a new member of the property is only displayed in the 2D floors. Base level specify the bottom level of the wall with creating a new member of the property is only displayed in the 2D floors. Automatic generated support clear. Series of points of support with the only creative with the generated support property check with the series points of support with the creative with the dome members slabs capable of providing support existing over the wall. Generated support cleared. No support created under the wall. Check with the series point of support with the created under the wall. When supports are created with the degrees of the frame specified with the wall support area with the bearing support with thickness of the wall. Alignment of the wall, front and back in the middle. Material type of general timber, concrete, grade of selected material. User define attributed customized list of attributed supplied with the individual members and panels. Define rotation angle and gamma angle. Rotation angle give the control of the orientation maximum member to local Z axis measure for the member local X, and which is identified with the line between the first and second point climb. Click define member. Show the first and click member local XS, local Z, local Y, second point, member to direction local X axis, second point, first, second, local Y, local Z. For entering positive rotation angle, resolve the clockwise rotation of the Y and Z with about looking X toward positive X, local Z. Let's orientate with the rotation angle file with the noting special class, the local X, and the members, vertical blend members to the defined slope plane. For vertical members, local Z, local Y, member direction, local X, rotation angle, local Z, local Y, member direction, local X, rotation 45 degrees. Rotation angle with the local Y angle, the global X, the local Z, according to the right-hand rule, members defined slope plane. So remember direction, local X, rotation angle with the local Z, local Y. When rotation angle with the 0, the local Z perpendicular slope plane with the global Z component with the local Z axis that allows negative the local Y according to the right-hand rule. For all other member direction, local X, local Y, local Z, rotation angle with when rotation angle equals 0. Local Z lies in the planes created with the local Z, local X axis, global Z axis, the global Z component with the local Z, always negative the local Y according to the right-hand rule. Gamma angle. Alright, gamma angle is an angle between the local z-axis of the plane created for the local z-axis, the global z-axis, the local x into the page, local y, local z, gamma angle. You do not enter the gamma angle directly derived with the rotation, with the rotating angle becomes being easier to work with the visual, particularly when modeling in slope planes. A majority case for the gamma angle with the same value with the rotation angle, although not always, or the case type rafter with a steel portal frame with one example that could be different rotation angle. Patch result strip the punching check property result strip property the display with the property result the trip. They must first select the enter either the view either in the structural tree. Just like the trip of the view, they must enter for the result strip the switch for the scene content of the following strip property of the display property description name of the automatically generated name of the strip of the view for the name can override automatically generated if required. Start with total strip the width for the first point picked for the creating the strip the end width the total strip the width of the end second point picked for the creating strip resulting type determines if the strip result calculated average center line maximum number of stations, number of station meter along the strip, number of points meter per meter across the strip at each station, isolated foundation pile properties, base pad base column properties, properties required with the creative this type of the pad base described in the type below, properties and description general, foundation type isolated pad base not edible, auto design depth, the auto design selected irritative of the procedure to determine the depth, sure design file fails depth and increase the E of the check the maximum passes maximum depth of the design option if it has wreath auto design is not selected check mode existing depth of retained Tekla structure determines it is sufficient. The design option of the isolated foundations have been set for the design using group of at least one base for the group that has set with a half of the depth auto design. Whole group will have their depth auto design while the design member right context menu of the view of the design individual base for the depth of the check with the design according to automatic depth design settings. Auto design sizing, auto design selected the iterative proceed to determine the base side with the bearing check size, fill size, for the increase of the either check with the path of the maximum side length of the specify the design option is reach. When auto design is not selected, check one of the existing sizes pertain with the Tekla structure that determines if in a sufficient design option. Isolated foundations have been set to be designated using group at least in one base group. The set have the depth auto design whole group with the depth auto design. Design member in the right click context menu of the design individual base size check with the design according to the auto design size setting. Alright, select size depth, starting with the option only appear with the auto design, depth of the auto design size, select with the auto design, start point with the depth side with both the option minimum default current, minimum remove the current depth side with the begin with the minimum allow with the depth side with the design options, both the options auto design depth increment and specify the design option foundation, isolated foundation size. Auto design reinforcements sets apply with the top of the bottom reinforcement, but in reinforce for the either location can be set. The name of the enabled the auto design reinforcement occur with the base size of the depth that have been established when the auto design reinforcement enabled the irritative of the procedure to determine the reinforcement. If the benefit to be designed fail with the reinforcement side of the getting increase the space, getting the degree for each check with the past iteration, continue with the U of the satisfactory bar configuration, have then achieve the maximum bar side of the minimum space for the design options, have then reef at this point with the depth that gets for the increase above the procedure the repeat. Smallest bar of the largest space, the insufficient next bar size, maximum space, use largest bar, reach of the space, getting for the reduced small bar, use the bar size of the increase, largest bar size, reach. When auto design reinforcements disable the check button with existing reinforcement provision, Tekla structure determines if it's sufficient. Design option, isolated foundation, have it then set for the design, use the group at least one base for the group that has set for the depth of the auto design, whole group of the reinforcement auto design. Design member to right context menu with the U of the design, individual base of the reinforcement, always designing respectively auto design reinforcement statement. Select bar starting with the option control the starting point with the auto design procedure, therefore only displayed auto design reinforcement select with the minimum of the default with the remove the current arrangement begins with the minimum of the arm allowed bar side with the design option current auto design begins with the current bar arrangement foundation parameters eccentric and y direction specifying eccentric pattern with the y direction eccentric x direction eccentric pattern with the x direction rotation angle specified with the rotation base relative to the support which is the control with the rotation angle specified with the column for the column shape specified with the base shape with the plane square rectangular locating to the y direction specified with the pad with the y direction specified length with the x direction specified with the x direction depth specified with the depth of the pad concrete cleft concrete groove the concrete grades available to set with the material button with the home ribbon sliding y prevented sliding x prevented sliding prevented with some of the other attached floor slabs in the other direction can indicate selecting the appropriate direction typically if the direction is not clear with the base for the non-rectangular so with the length of the x and hence for the x direction is clear select the options shear with the force for the particular direction shear with the additional sliding shear with it but actually affects all of the checks because there is no additional overturning moment to develop due to the shear top of the base overturning of the x of the prevented overturning the y prevented option only appear with the sliding y prevented sliding x prevented option select with the sliding option indicate with the overturning with also prevented some of the other means select the direction select with the support moment and with the directions here with the effect for all checks before there is no overturning of the moment considered permanent load ratio open option in Eurocode only required to supply value with a permanent load parameter with the default 0.65 with the assume with the value with the considered if the appropriate adjust the necessary design parameters maximum crack width 0.2 0.3 0.4 reinforcement mesh loose bar none rib type head code Eurocode BSIS plane type 1 and type 2 rib type plane head code AECI plane and deform bar type the reinforcement grades available here to set with the material of the button with a home ribbon and bar side of the spacing mesh types etc extra reinforcement provided in each layers of the indicated here the top bottom side cover the nominal cover the reinforcement soil parameters surcharge depth soil unit weight permanent surcharge load variable surcharge load characteristic friction angle design shear strength and soil angle ACI BSS head codes design shear strength of the soil angle allowable bearing capacity ACI BS head codes allowable bearing capacity A1 CSTR EC head code allowable bearing capacity A1 only displayed with the presumed bearing capacity EN 1997 1 clause 65254 was design option bearing capacity A2 the GEO EC head code allowable bearing capacity A2 only displayed you for the bearing capacity of the EN 1997 1 clause 6524 unselected design options presumed bearing resistance EC head code presumed bearing resistance only displayed you for the bearing capacity method of the EN 1997 1 clause 6524 selected design user define attributed custom on a list of attributes to apply with the individual panels user define attributes strip-based wall properties required by the create with the type of the pads. Pad is described in the table below. Property design foundation type isolated pad base not edible or design selected irritated with the produce to determine the depth of the shear of the design fit with the increase of the check with the pass maximum depth of the design option reach or design not selected checkpoint with the existing depth of retained Tekla strip to determine if sufficient design option isolated foundation have within set with the design using group at least one base for the group is set with the depth of the auto design whole group with the depth of the auto design size auto design is selected irritative with the produce to determine the bar side with the bearing checks and it fails to see with the increase of the check with the pass maximum side length of the specified design option reach. Auto design is not select checkpoint with the existing side of the retained Tekla structure that determines it's sufficient. Design option isolated foundations have been set for the design. I'll use the group for at least one base for the group to set with the depth of the auto design whole group with the depth will have their depth of auto design. Select size and depth and the starting point with the option appear for the auto design depth and size for the select for the auto design start point with the depth and size with both option minimum of the default current. Select minimum of the resolve remove the current depth of the side with the begins with the minimum allowable depth side with the design option for the both option with the auto design depth increment spread for the design option foundation isolated foundation size. Auto design reinforcement setting apply with the top bottom reinforcement either the location set more and set to known enable the auto design reinforcement cover the base size and the depth of the established auto design reinforcement enable the acting irritative of the procedure you with the determine increment reinforcement bending of the design fail with the reinforcement side with increased space of the gates with the decrease until the check path of the iteration continue until the satisfactory bar configuration has been achieved maximum bar space minimum spacing specified the design option has been reached at this point the depth gets increased used above procedure. Repeated smallest bar, largest space, insufficient next bar spacing, maximum spacing is U. The largest bar is reach for the spacing gets reduced. Smallest bar is U. The number of bar size of getting increased. The largest bar is reach. Auto design reinforcement disabled. Check mode with existing reinforcement provision. Retain a Tekla strictly determines if the design option isolated foundation have instead of the design using group at least one base group that have the depth of auto design over the whole group. The reinforcement auto design selecting start bars from the option control the starting point with the auto design procedure. Therefore, only display the auto design reinforcement. Enable the minimum. The default remove the current arrangement begins with the minimum allowed bar side of the design option. Current auto design commencement of the current bar arrangement. Foundation perimeters eccentric Y along the wall. Specify the eccentricity of the pad in the Y direction. Century X and across the wall. Century of the pad in the X direction. Rotation angle. Specify the angle of the base about the global Z. Shape of the not edible width. Specify the width of the base extension beyond the wall. Specify the amount of the base beyond the both walls ends. Specify the depth of the wall. Concrete. The concrete grade. The concrete grades available to set the material button on the home ribbon and permanent load ratio. The option Eurocode. You're required to supply the value with a permanent load parameter for the default 0.65 to 200 divide with a conservative if the property to the necessary for you the time parameter maximum crack with 0.2, 0.3 reinforcement type mesh loose bar of plane non-plane rib type head code Eurocode BSI plane type 1 type 2 rib type head code ACI plane deform bar type the reinforcement grade with available here to set up the material of the button with the home ribbon bar size space the mesh type of the actual reinforcement provided each of the layers indicated here with the top bottom side cover the nominal coverage for reinforcement soil parameters surcharge depth, soil unit weight, permanent surcharge load, variable surcharge load character, friction angle, design shear strength, soil with angle, ACI, BS head code, the design shear strength of the soil, angle, allowable bearing capacity, ACI, BS head code, allowable bearing capacity AS1, SCR, EC head code, allowable bearing capacity A1, bearing capacity A2, GO, AC head code, allowable bearing capacity A2, user distributed, define attributed, customizable, attributed, apply with the individual panels defined. Alright, your pile cap, column properties required with the create with the pile cap, the described table below, general property description, general foundation type, isolated pile cap, not editable, auto design, select the irradiative receiver that determine the shape of the design, fail with the depth, increase the U with the check with the path, maximum depth of the design option with reach, auto design, and now select the check mode with existing depth of retaining the structural design, and determine sufficient design option, isolated function, have instead of the design, U with the group at least one pile cap, the group to set with the have the auto design, whole group with the depth of the auto design, ozone piles, ozone pile that determine the quantity of the side of the piles clear, specify the number of the pile, specify position, checking with the during design process, check with the number of the pile with the position of the pile cap that automatically determined during the design process, check boxes selected with the actual procedure depending on the pile item, design method that has been specified with the design option, concrete foundation, isolation, foundation, piles, minimize the number of piles method commence with the file, selecting pile with the smallest load capacity, the pile catalog, pile position, and template, U with the defined pile, arrangement, one with the limitation, C with the pile, smallest load capacity, catalog, selective of the process, starting again, repeating for the pile load, checking pass, minimize pile capacity method commence with the first selecting pile, the smallest load capacity, pile catalog, pile position, and template, U with the defined pile, arrangement, one limitation, C with the pile, additive of the pile group, the process starts again with repeated until the pile load get check passes. Or like select size, the depth of the starting from, and the option appear for the auto design, depth of the auto side, select for the auto design, start point with the depth and side of the both, the option minimum of the default with the current minimums, removed with the current depth of the side with the begins with the minimum of the allowable depth and side with the side of the depth design option, both option auto design depth of the increment side with the design option foundation, isolated foundation size, auto design reinforcement setting will be enable the auto design depth of the auto depth of the pile with enable the top of the reinforcement, bottom reinforcement either location set with them to be none, or design reinforcement enable the irradiative of the procedure U with the determined reinforcement bending design fail with the reinforcement gets increased, the patient gets decreased until the check pass for the iterations continue until either the satisfactory bar configuration has been achieved with the maximum bar side of the minimum bar spacing of design. Specify the design option reach for that. At this point where the depth gets increased above the perceived repeated. If the smallest bar with the largest spacing insufficient with the next bar side with the maximum spacing U with the largest bar reaching with the pace gets reduced with the small bar used. Bar size gets increased until the largest bar reach. Auto design reinforcement disable the check mode with existing reinforcement provision retained with the technical control of the designer to determine if the installation. Design option of the isolated foundation has been designed with the U of the group to lose at least one pile cap of the group that has the auto design whole group with the reinforcement auto design. Select bars starting from the object control starting point. Auto design procedure. Therefore, auto design reinforcement is enabled. The minimum to remove the current arrangement begins with the minimum allowable bar size design option. Current auto design commencement of the current bar arrangement. Shape of the option controls of the pile. Capture of the auto design piles. Enable the square and rectangle foundation. Geometry type. Specify the pile cap. Shape of the cuboid. Taper pedestal. Step geometries are currently beyond scope. The eccentric X direction. Specify the eccentric pile cap. The X direction. Eccentric and Y direction. Specify eccentricity and pile cap. The Y direction. Rotation angle. Specify the rotation pile cap. The relative to the support, which is control rotation angle of the specified for the column. Length of the Y direction, specify the step of the pile, and the cap of the Y direction. For length of the Y X direction, specify the pile cap of the X direction. Depth of the depth of the pile cap. Concrete class, concrete grade. Concrete grades available to set of the materials on the home ribbon. Permanent load ratio, Eurocode only required. Supply with the permanent load ratio. Parameter of the defined is 0.65. Assume the divide with the conservative if it is appropriately adjusted necessary for the design parameters. Maximum crack 0.2, 0.33. Pile types. Pile type 3 with the evidence of the pile catalog available for selection. You can choose the new additional types of the defined arrangement essential for the pile cap of the X direction, pile of arrangement to define the all specify the number of piles facing the pile type of the principal direction, number of piles specify the number of pile principal direction, specify the principal direction, pile space, the dimension between the piles, same with the shape of the three piles only, can choose either triangular, rectangular pile cap, reinforcement type, mesh loose bars or none. Rib head type code, Eurocode, plane type 1, plane type 2, rib type head code, ACI, plane deform, bar type, the reinforcement grade is available here to set up the material of the button with the home ribbon, bar size and spacing, mesh and actual reinforcement, and provided in each layer that indicated here, top, bottom, side cover, the nominal cover reinforcement, soil, parameters, soil, dish, surcharge depth, soil, unit weight, permanent surcharge load, variable surcharge load, custom list for the attributed to apply with the individual panels, user defined attributed. Pile type properties, following properties for the adding pile type of the pile catalog property description, name of you, specify the description and installation type of the driven board and CFA, shape, size, square, circular dimension, resident side, length of the square pile, the diameter of the circular pile, the length of the pile, length of the embedment, loaded transfer type of end bearing or friction, pile capacity, axle compressive resistance, enter of the compressive capacity of the Eurocode, and both GEO and SCR resistance are requested, axle tensile resistance, enter of the tensile capacity Eurocode, design both GEO and STR resistance are requested. Vertical linearity, specify the vertical spring type, linear or non-linear vertical spring and stiffness, linear spring type only, and vertical spring stiffness, vertical compression spring stiff, non-linear spring type only, vertical compression spring stiffness, vertical compression limited, non-linear spring type only with vertical compression limited, vertical tension spring with non-linear spring type only with vertical tension spring stiffness, vertical tension limited, non-linear spring type only, enter the vertical tension limit. Horizontal restraint fixed spring linear, horizontal spring stiffness, spring linear type only with the inter-horizontal spring stiffness. Pile properties. Creating pile properties set. The following properties are displayed with the created pile with the property description, pile type of the from the drop-down list, choose the existing pile type of the pile with catalog, new, add with the new pile type of the catalog, choose the new, the add pile type of the dialog, display with the pile type properties defined. Direction of the angle of the property provided allow with the define with the ranking pile with the mains of the pile with the not vertically inclined cleared all of the piles direction direct define the coordinates of the global coordinate system. Check with the U with the defined coordinate system apply with the pile with the clicking with where you want to create with the pile with the second client. Click define with the X direction third client. Click define with the Y direction the define with the direction of the pile X Y with the define and angle of the pile direction defined with the X Y Z vector of the default direction 0 0 -1 mean vertically down. Inclination azimuth rotation defining direction of the angular measurements are with the unit instead of the vectors. Edit pile properties set. Following properties display with selecting one or more existing piles. Property general name of the automatic generated name of the pile with the override of the automatic generated name of the required pile type of the drop list shows the existing pile type of the pile catalog with new add new pile type to the catalog with new edit pile type catalog display with the pile type properties defined offset with the offset measure of the global X and Y relative to the map position pile position measure relative to the global origin to refine the direction to define the direction of the pile X, Y, and Z pile with the edit of the pile direction given the X, Y, Z vector of the default of the direction vector 0 0 -1 meaning vertical down pile array property, following property for display with the create with the pile array, general layout with a drop list, true with the define with the rectangular horizontal arrow array piles, pile type with the drop list, show with the existing pile type with the pile catalog, new add new pile type, show with the catalog, show with the new with the edit pile type, like display with the pile type property define, spacing x and y and spacing, rectangular array spacing x and y to define with the space in the pile with each direction, hexagonal array spacing to define with the spacing between each pile with the nearest neighboring piles, angle with the angle about the z-axis with the rate and position, mid distance, minimum distance to edge, only apply with a greater distance to the edge with the value with the b position, direction by angle with the property with the and provide with allow you to define with the ranking pile with the mean of the pile with the not vertically inclined with clear with the pile with the direction defined in accordance with global coordinate system, check with you with the defined coordinate system, apply with the pile with the click, check clicking. After clicking, you want to create with the pile with the second click with the define with the x direction, third click define with the y direction, define with the direction of the pile, x, y, and z, define with the angle with the pile, direction, define with the x, y, z vector, default direction vector, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, negative 1, meaning vertically down, inclination is method rotation, define direction, angle with angular measurement, already used instead of vectors. Alright, submodel property, the following properties associated with the submodel with the display with the property window, select with the structure tree, override models, select with the checkbox and over to override structure, meshing the property with the current submodel, shell, mesh size, just define shell mesh size with the two spanning slabs and submodel, shell uniform factor, define sub-shell mesh uniform factor with the two-way spanning slabs and submodel, semi-rigid mesh, define semi-rigid mesh size slabs, as model air semi-rigid diaphragm, submodel semi-rigid uniform factor, define semi-rigid uniform factor slabs are modeled as semi-rigid diaphragms, and submodel semi-rigid mesh type, define semi-rigid mesh type to do quad, dominate quad only, or triangular used in submodel, solver model properties. Solver node property, solve the view with the solver node property to display with the property windows that shown below with a certain the edit with the property within with the derived that cannot be changed directly. Fx, Fy, Fz with the defined transitional degree of freedom of the node. Mx, My, Mz with the defined with the rotational degree of the freedom of the node. Coordinate defined with the node location. P delta of the property cannot be edited with the extrude with the diaphragm and check with the remove of the node from the diaphragm. Diaphragm number of the diaphragm with the diaphragm number to which the node is connected. Solver element properties which the solver view solve with the element property display with the property window with the shown with low with the only term that can be edited with the property with the dim with the derived that cannot be changed directly. Active, which means the set of the false solver element is active. The analyst only to remember the type of the brace and the analyst could be made an active type of the type of the solver element. Fabrication, the fabrication type of the solver element. The construction construction type of the solver element. Material solver element. Material gamma angle with the defined with the element of orientation local active with the gamma 0. Local z live with the plane created with local x and global z axis length. Solver element length start release fx fy fz for defining the transitional and release at n1. Mx my mz with defining the rotational and release at n1 and release at fx xz y to define the transitional and release at n2. Mx my mz with defining the rotational and release at n2. Solver element 2D property, solve the view with the solver 2D element property display with the property window of the shown with the low with the none of these properties given the directed edit with the solver view. General type 2D elements types shell with a semi-rigid depending on the slab type of the decomposition diaphragm option that will be inside thickness 2D element thickness derived with a different property depending on the slab type the composite slab, the precast slab, the slab on the beam flat slab over the wheel. Yes.
I can't give you a hug.
Thickness, second element, thickness derived with a different property depending on the slab type, composite slab, precast slab, slab on the beam, flat slab, overall depth of steel deck, timber depth, thickness, orientation 2D element, orientation solve with the model file with the rotation going to define the slab on which it belongs, divided stiffness derived with the property applied with the semi-rigid elements, only the depth of stiffness determined with the material of the property in order to the control semi-rigid diaphragm flexibility crack option, yes or no, and then user guide, and then it gets into the glossary, and that completes the user guide, Trimble user guide for Tekla Structural Design 2018, user guide July 2008, 2008 Trimble Solutions Corporation.